Hello, 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 my amigos. Welcome one, welcome all. It's time for another exciting edition of The Show with No Name on Vaughn Radio. And the holiday season is officially here. That's right, folks. Christmas is just a few days away. And if you're watching the live stream, you'll see I'm in the holiday spirit. I am dressed in red. I look like one of those fat guys from the North Pole. That's right. You know the one I'm talking about, Santa Claus, or as the British call him, Father Christmas. So happy holidays to all of you, and get ready for liftoff. 10, 9, 8. You know the rest. Come on, guys. This is easy.
3, 2,
1.
0.
Cross your fingers.
Ignition.
Here we go.
Liftoff. 30 minutes after the hour.
Let's go.
Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hats. Get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no name time on Vaughn Radio. It's the show with no name. It's the show. Let's go.
That's right. That's right, amigos. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard Santa's sleigh. That's right. We've looked at that word already. Sleigh. Santa's sleigh. El trineo de Santa. And today we're going to learn English and we're going to be merry. I know you know the word merry. Do you know the expression, the more, the merrier? Let me give it to you in context. Hey, Alberto, my cousin's in town. Can he come to your Christmas party? And I would say, the more, the merrier. Tráetelo, cuanto más personas, mejor. The more, the merrier. And that's the same philosophy we have here on Vaughn Radio. But remember, one of the best ways to grow is organically. It's word of mouth. Do you say de boca a boca or de boca en boca? Well, in English, let's not mix it up. Word of mouth is when you tell people things. And mouth to mouth is when you need to resuscitate someone. Okay, so a little bit different there. Not exactly. I'm talking about word of mouth. So thank you to all of you who spread the word. Day in and day out, you guys are spreading the word. You are our best ambassadors. And remember, folks, if you make sure you download the Vaughn Radio app, then you'll never miss an episode of all your favorite shows. Whether you like the show with no name, no excuses, Let's Get Random, which is right after this show, Kyle Miller's Drive Time, or Tosh Pasqua's Back to Basics. We've got an amazing shows. We'll be wrapping up for the holidays this Friday. So you should, as far as I know, unless people have taken holidays sooner, which is totally possible. I know myself, let me speak for just myself. I know that Friday will be our last show of 2022. And that is mind-blowing. Another year together here. And I think we've all grown and we continue to grow every day. So thank you guys for another amazing year together. Can't believe it. And I'm wishing you all the best in the upcoming year, to you and yours, como decimos, para ti y los tuyos. And I see we've got a lot of people joining us here in our virtual chat room, which is awesome. I always love to see my students eager es con muchas ganas. And I think you guys are eager for your first challenge, today's pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. That's right. That's right, folks. It's our pop quiz. Pop quiz only on the show with no name. And today we're going to take a look at a pop quiz that I think should be pretty easy. But again, if I base it on, well, let's take a look. Let's see what the people on Twitter had to say. Now, we have an expression that you have in Spanish, and that is to open Pandora's box. Sound familiar? La caja de Pandora. To open up, or to open, you can use both, to open Pandora's box or to open up Pandora's box. But we have another way of saying it, and let's see what you guys had to say. Remember, if you're not following me on social media, you're missing out because I post little quizzes. I post videos every day. So does Vaughn, and so do my friends at Vaughn Radio. So make sure you're following all of us, and this way you're getting all this content. So we were looking at the words warm and worm. Let's start by pronouncing those two words together. Warm. If you notice, I'm wearing a hoodie. A hoodie is está con capucha, a hood. So we call it a hoodie. So I'm nice and warm. El nice and es bastante. It's nice and, pero como lo decimos tanto, es nice and. I'm nice and warm, right? And worm is something you use if you go fishing, right? You use it as bait if you go fishing. Ir de pesca. Lombriz, or I think you also say gusano, right? Well, lombriz, I think, are the ones you can get internally. I get confused in Spanish. Well, in English, they're both worms. The ones you can get in your intestine and your digestive system. If I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on any medical stuff, but pronounce them with me. So the first one's warm. Think of the word war. Always isolate the vowel sound. War. Okay, now add an M. Warm. Warm. Are you nice and warm? ¿Estás calentito? And the second one, worm. Were. Es como decir, where were you? Worm. Were. Worm. So again, we already know words that sound like that. We just have to associate them. It's really good to find words that rhyme, right? That you can put them up right next to each other and say, claro, si eso rima. This is a way we, as native speakers, learned English. They would give us a word and say, okay, odd man out. ¿Cuál es el que no encaje? Odd man out. Which one doesn't fit in? Otra forma de decir encajar. So we said you can open up Pandora's box, or you can open up a of worms. So again, you won't just know how to say lombriz, but you'll say, no abres la caja de Pandora, por favor. And I gave you three options here. I gave you a box, I gave you a jar, and I gave you a can. Okay, so you got three different options there. I'll tell you what Twitter said, although I don't know if, do you trust Twitter? I don't know about that. 33.5% of the people polled, encuestados, said box, excuse me. So 33.5, no es coma cinco en inglés, es punto cinco. 33.5% said box. 23.9% said jar. And 42.6% said can. And the total amount of people that participated was 155. So 155 people voted. And together, I would say the majority would be box and jar. Or box and can. The number one answer was can. The number two answer was box. And the third answer was jar. Based on you guys and what you guys voted. And I just started adding these little quizzes to my Instagram. You know how on Twitter you can put like different options? You can put a survey, una encuesta. You can do it on Instagram now too. So check out my stories and you'll be able to see it. There's even a section in my highlights, los destacados, that is quizzes, que son pequeños trivias, pequeños, a ver si elijo correctamente. So what do I want you to do? Well, obviously, I don't just want you guys to give me the missing word. And I don't just want you to give me the idiomatic expression. I want you to give it to me in context, with a sentence that comes before it or after it that puts it all into context, and preferably in your own context. Who right now has opened up Pandora's box? I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example myself, but we'll see what you guys have to say. If you'd like to participate, you can go on over to our virtual classroom, our chat room. And speaking of, let's see what my amigos have to say. Happy holidays, folks. Ho, ho, ho. As Santa says. There's my dad. Bright and early, tempranísimo, bright and early. The rooster hasn't even begun to crow. ¿Qué? El gallo no ha empezado a cuervo? Well, yeah, to crow is hacer kikiri, which is, in English, cock-a-doodle-doo. So a rooster crows, that's right. Well, my dad gets up before that rooster starts crowing. And he says, good morning, Santa, friends, and family. Greetings from Greenwood Lake, New York. Merry Christmas. Oh, yeah. Now, there's no turning back. Ya no hay vuelta atrás. If you haven't picked up any Christmas presents yet, stop by our Vaughn Tienda, vaughntienda.com, or you can stop by our website. It's grupovaughn.com. You can also find out about special deals by following us on social media. Let's see. Salvador checking in, fichando to check in. And he says, hi, classmates, Don Diego and Double A. Your show livens up my mornings. Hey, I'll tell you something. To liven up, alegrar, dar alegría, dar vidilla. I love it, Salvador. Sounds like a totally native over there. It livens up my morning because alive is vivo, pero to liven up is dar vidilla. I love it. Salvador, you prove every day your mastery of the English language. Great job. That's what I want you to do here in this 2-hour period every day. Show off. Presume de tu inglés. If you don't do it now here with me, when are you going to do it? German says, good morning, one and all. How's it hanging? ¿Qué tal va la cosa, mariposa? How's it hanging? Very, very native. How's it hanging? Chris Valrol says, good morning, mates, and our special Santa, the one and only, el mismísimo. Me encanta este en español. El mismísimo, the one and only, Double A. Let's see. German says, you make a convincing Santa. Where are the elves? Well, my daughter could be my elf. She's short enough. Although I think in about a year or two, she's going to be taller than I am. Oh, she's already growing. She takes up, ocupa, she takes up like more than half of my body, my daughter. I'm dead serious. So, but we have the elf on the shelf. Does that count? All right, there's Born to Iron Man, and he says, morning, folks. Santa's coming. That's right. Santa always visits right before the 3 wise men. He paves the way. Allana el camino. Santa paves the way for the 3 wise men. Born to Iron Man says, Santa's coming. Wait a second. He's in the house. Muy nativo. Aquí está. Está presente in the house. All right, let's see some more comments over here. Salvador, it's good that you've got the expression right, but I want you to use it in context. You know how we do it. I know you can. Sé que podéis. Okay, let's see. Born to Iron Man says, I agree with Salvador. So he says can. I agree with Salvador. Elon Musk opened up a can of worms. And do you know? He lost. Possibly. I don't know. But yes, he's opening up a can of worms every day. Seeing there was a lot of illegal activity. I don't know. I'm not a big fan. Let me give you my opinion here on Elon Musk. I'm not a fan. I don't like him. Nope. But I like what he's doing. I think, well, if there are wrongdoers, if there are people manipulating, doing these backroom deals that in the end affect everybody's freedom of speech. And remember, freedom of speech is not only when it's convenient for you or when it's your message. Freedom of speech applies to everybody. So I don't like the person, but I like what he's doing. Shaking things up, se dice. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, some of the people who were implicated here in these illegal activities will be arrested, right? So I don't know if he lost. We'll see. I mean, he can still sell the company. And I know he's looking for a new CEO, but I think he was doing that since the beginning, right? He just said, I'm going to come on board as the CEO, but I will eventually step down. Well, he's got another 4 companies, right? So I don't know how he has time. And he seems to be spending a lot of time on Twitter these days. He's doing more surveys than me. That's difficult. So, but yeah, that's a great example, Iron Man. Elon Musk is opening up he's opening up cans of worms everywhere. There's another expression it reminds me of, to open up a can of whoop ass. Esto es darle una paliza a alguien. Man, if you piss me off again, I'm going to open up a can of whoop ass on you. Voy a abrir una lata de paliza. So yeah, great example. Great example. I can't believe I didn't think of that one too. Elon Musk loves opening up cans of worms. The correct word is cans. Nice job. Let's see. Laura says, good morning, lovely show with no namers. Have we been such good students that Santa has decided to visit us in advance? Well, hey, I'm just getting ready, making arrangements. I'm making a list. I'm checking it twice. I'm going to find out who's naughty and nice. Santa Claus is coming to town. She says, how lucky we are. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas to you all. Excellent. German says, can I open up this warm can of worms before I get canned? It's my last wish. There's German showing off his English. Great job, German. Can I open up this warm can of worms? Ya sabemos pronunciar cada uno. Before I get canned. To get canned es que te echen, right? Que te despiden. It's my last wish. German, that's a great play on words. Jaime says, can you please repeat? Repeat? No me inventes palabras, Jaime. Repeat es repeat. Se escribe, no repeat. Oh my God. Eso es a la española. That's how they spell it in Almería. No offense to Almerienses. I love my people. What was the pop quiz? Well, we just said it. Abrir la caja de Pandora is what we're looking at. Let's see. Oscar. There's Oscar. What does Oscar have to say? Oscar says, I was worn out of opening. Wait a second. I was worn out from, mejor, de hacer tal cosa. But great vocabulary. Worn out. Desgastado, cansadísimo. It's a synonym for exhausted. Nice job, Oscar. The only thing is we changed the preposition, pero no llegas a saber eso si no lo usas. So great news. I was worn out from opening cans of worms to my uncle. Oh, yeah, the holiday season. Oh, man. talking about opening up cans of worms with your family. Oh, and remember that time in 1984 when you called me an idiot? I never forgot it. Those grudges. Do you know the word? To hold a grudge. Write this one down because it's unhealthy, in fact. To hold a grudge is guardar rencor, I think. To hold a grudge. Wow, you guys are really creative today. Well, every day, but I can see you're enjoying the words. You're playing with the words. And that means you feel comfortable with the words. That means you feel comfortable with the language. And that's awesome. As a teacher, it's one of the greatest things. Somebody left me a comment. Let me read it. Let me see if I can find it here on Instagram. And it's just one of these comments, short and sweet. And I love it. It's a student named Liz, and she writes to a friend. She mentions a friend, Ar, right? I'll just say Ar. It's a longer name. And Liz says, por esto me ves tan motivada. ¿Cómo aprendo? Isn't that awesome? That's Liz telling a friend why she's so motivated. And it's one of my videos on Instagram. I think that is absolutely beautiful. So thank you guys. Thank you so much for commenting, for sharing. Again, that's the way we grow. Vaughn, of course, they have a marketing department. I don't. So if you like my Instagram posts, if you like my Twitter posts, share them. It's another way to let people know, hey, this is why I'm not afraid of English anymore. As Eminem would say, I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid. Everybody, everybody, take my hand, just take my hand. I'm not afraid, I'm not afraid. There's Grace, she's fearless. And she says, indeed, Laura, we are really lucky. I feel like we're all lucky, Grace. You guys feel like you're lucky having me as a teacher. I feel like I'm lucky to have you as students. It's a mutual thing. Born to Iron Man, giving us a little lesson. I love it, Born to Iron Man. Born to Iron Man says, Pandora was the first mortal woman and radio station. Isn't Pandora online radio? Me suena. Yes, the first mortal woman. Interesting. Elena says, hi, everyone. Teacher, did you call the roll? I did roll call, but Elena, you're here. You're in. Present, here, right? Son dos formas de que podemos decir presente. Aquí estoy, profe. So, Elena, great to have you on board. Elena, I think you left me a comment recently, too. If I'm not mistaken, maybe it's another Elena. You left me a comment on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. I don't remember, and it was quite nice, too. Either way, guys, the best way to learn English for free, follow Grupo Vaughn, follow Kyle, follow Tosh, follow Dave Boys, follow all of my amigos at Vaughn Radio. And there are even some great accounts of teachers who don't work at Vaughn Radio. Check out who I follow, because I follow some different accounts depending on where, depending on what platform it is. So Elena says, yes, I did leave you a comment. All right, see, my memory's not as bad as I think it is. You did leave. Oh, okay, cool. Awesome. Great. Thank you, Elena. I will answer if I haven't answered yet. I hate to tell you guys this, but you know what? We can get personal here. Usually when I answer my Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook comments, oh my God, I'm on the throne. Well, you know what? I believe in not spending the whole day on social media. I think, as we know here, as we've discovered, there's definitely a positive side to it, right? Learning English, making friends, many positive sides. But also I like to make sure, okay, I don't want to spend more time than usual. So now I have this way that I do it, this new method, llámalo método si quieres. Let's pronounce that word together, method. It's a new method. And this method is quite simple. This is leave social media for the toilet. Now, I won't tell you how long I spend on the toilet every day. No, I'm joking. But next time I answer one of your comments, you can think of me taking care of business in every sense of the word. There's Nihad. Nihad says, good morning, dear teacher. Have a wonderful day. Wishing you a day full of sunny smiles. Well, Nihad, now that you're here, I think we're going to have a wonderful day. Well, at least we're going to have a wonderful class. But guys, right now, I can't believe it. We have to go to our first commercial break. Unbelievable. Time just flies when you're having fun. I hope you guys will join us in the second part of today's Show with No Name. So, stick around. Welcome back. Welcome back, amigos. It's the Show with No Name. This is part 2. Just a quick reminder, right before this show, you've got Fitz and his program, No Excuses. After this program, you've got Jules Linares and her show, Let's Get Random. That's right, Let's Get Random. Only on the Show with No Name. Let's get on Vaughn Radio. Oh, 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 oh. Sing it. You can make up the words. Improvise. Wing it. Como decimos en inglés, wing it. When you don't know what's going on in life, which happens often, well, sometimes we got to wing it. You know the word wing is ala. Well, to wing is, well, that would be a good double trouble. Wow, the plane has just lost a wing. The pilots are going to have to wing it. Oh, my God. That would not be a good thing at all. Imagine that. You're flying and a wing comes off and the pilot has to wing it. Hey, I know it's a horrible thing to imagine, but it's a good way to remember to wing it. Improvisar. All right, well, my amigos, we have so much to do here on today's show. So let's kick off with a section where we listen to a famous person speaking, and you guys have to tell me what's going on. It's called Say What? Say what? What? That's right, amigos. That's right. It is our Say What soundbite only on the Show with No Name. All right, we're going to hear this soundbite 4 times throughout today's show. 4 times. That's right. You'll get 4 chances, 4 opportunities, 4 shots to write this down. And at first, I just want you guys to give me your feedback. I want you to tell me what you heard in your own words using your best English. If you give me your worst, I'm not even going to read it. Why? Why should I expose my super students to subpar English? Now, another thing is making a mistake because you're trying to use a structure that you haven't used before. And another thing is just being careless, descuidado. All right, so folks, as always, pay close attention, and I want you to write down what you hear. Here it is, the Say What soundbite for the first time.
I'm so proud and grateful. It's been almost 8 years. This film, Coming Home, was born in Santa Monica, where we live, in the cramped offices of the Indochina Peace Campaign.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think it's too difficult today. Consider it a Christmas gift or a Christmas present. You can say both of those words. You can say a gift or a present. The only thing is, if we're talking about talento o un don, ahí no decimos, you have a present. Diríamos, you have a gift, man. Tú tienes un don. You have a gift. The gift of gab es pico de oro, que sabes hablar de todo. To gab is to talk. So if you are gifted, tienes mucho talento. It's another way of saying talented. But in that case, we don't use present. Lo usamos intercambiable cuando estamos hablando de un regalo. They gave me a present. They gave me a gift. And again, if you haven't picked up your gifts, you can get those last-minute gifts over at vontienda.com. All right, let's give you the Say What soundbite here for the second time, and then let's analyze what we heard together. I'd love to hear your take, tu opinión. Here it is, the Say What soundbite for the second time.
I'm so proud and grateful. It's been almost 8 years. This film, Coming Home, was born in Santa Monica, where we live, in the cramped offices of the Indochina Peace Campaign.
All right, there you go, folks. There you go. I'll start if you like. It sounds like there's some kind of applause, so I guess it's happening in front of an audience. So maybe it's a live show or a speech or a press conference or an awards ceremony. I'm just giving you I'm throwing some ideas out there. That's all. No, lanzando algunas ideas, sending you some ideas. All right, let's see what you guys heard. Elena says, yes, I did leave you. Oh, ya leí esto. She says, I enjoyed your impersonation of a British mate. Oh, thank you so much, Elena. You are lovely, and I really appreciate the feedback and your lovely compliment. I'll see you for tea at 3 p.m. today. All right. Now, that's a very posh British accent. Let's see. German says, it's great that you use a good method and not a good odd. Oh, method. Okay, you separated the words. Bueno, podemos ver eso. No es method, it's method. Method. So it's the spelling isn't the same as the pronunciation. So, a ver, it's great that you use a good method and not a good OD. I get it. If you get my drift. Interesting. Good play on words there. Man, it took me a second. Tardé un poco. So, meth is methamphetamines, Breaking Bad, and OD is sobredosis. So, method, meth, OD. Whoa, German. Do you know I've seen the word method a million times and my brain has never put that, put 2 and 2 together there? Wow. Brilliant, German. Brilliant. Vero says, morning, beautiful people. As Mr. Sergio Ramos once said, mori crima. I love it. He's never going to be able to live that down. ¿Cómo tradúceme eso, amigos? So he's never going to live that down, right? People are never going to let him live it down. Olvidarlo, I think you would say, right? Maybe that would be the translation. Let's see. Diana Morales, my wife. Hey, what's up? She says, your daughter says you look guapo. Hello, Lara. Hello, mommy. dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Ha, ha, ha. But you know what my daughter's favorite is? You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You're a vile one, Mr. Grinch. We love the Grinch here. We love the Grinch. We love Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Had a very shiny nose. Hey, babies. Merry Christmas. Wow. So my dad's here, my wife, my daughter. This is really a family show. Be careful. We don't say familiar. Familiar is que es conocido. We would say family como adjetivo de perteneciendo a o para la familia. Elena says, it sounds like an American woman delivering a speech. She might be in a rally or a conference. Elena, awesome. You nailed it. Great job. Short and sweet. You got to the point. Llegaste al grano, and you expressed yourself perfectly. No mistakes in there. Great job. Let's see. Vero says, it sounds like an actress thanking an award after 8-year work. Okay, Vero, we got to make a couple corrections in here, a couple tweaks. Unos ajustes. It sounds like an actress thanking someone or thanking the audience for an award after an 8-year. Entonces, the preposition, because think 8 empieza con un vocal, so you'd have to say an. So thanking somebody for an award after an 8-year work or 8-year job or project. All right, great stuff. I got what you meant. Just be careful with those little mistakes over there. Oscar says, a Santa Monica's woman, in this case, I wouldn't say, because she doesn't belong to the city. So in this case, I'd say a woman from Santa Monica or a Santa Monica woman, sin el posesivo, como Santa Mónica como adjetivo. A Santa Monica woman is addressing an audience feeling proud of herself for a film that was set up 8 years ago in a crumpy office. Oscar, great ear. The only thing is the word is not crumpy, but the rest is spot on, Oscar. Chris says, I heard an American woman, maybe an actress, a beautiful actress, who is giving a speech in an awards ceremony. Chris, spot on. I guess you can tell by her voice that that she's beautiful. Hey, sometimes you never know. You never know. You can't judge a book by its cover. But I agree, Chris. Definitely a beautiful woman. Nihad says, from her voice, I can tell that she is an American woman. Muy bien, Nihad. I can tell, se nota, that she is an American woman. I think she's receiving a tribute for her return to Santa Monica. She feels very proud of her origin. Also, what she is and what she has achieved. Excellent job, Nihad. Wow. Vero says, I need to go back to square one. Well, don't worry. You've got back to basics every day where Tosh Pasqua goes over those key elements. There's Leonardo, our resident poet, and he says, after hearing many people applauding, a lady who lives in Santa Monica, California, is saying she is very proud that after 8 years, a film has come to the city, to the Chinese theater. Interesting, very famous theater in Hollywood. Great job, guys, everybody. There's Lupe. Lupe says she's an American woman. Lupe says she's an American woman addressing an audience. Great word. Refiriéndose a, dirigiéndose a. Addressing an audience. She is grateful because the film they worked on, la preposición mejor, to work on, finally arrived to be shown in Santa Monica. Well, guys, the good news is everybody heard the same thing here, and we're all on the right track. You're going to hear that another 2 times, but right now it's time for today's Spelling Bee.
Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee.
That's right. That's right, amigos. It is our spelling bee only on the show with no name. And today's spelling bee is going to be a little bit tougher. Why? Well, why not? You know, I think the say what soundbite, it was easy. I thought, and based on your answers, the pop quiz was easy. So this is going to be a little bit harder. Why? Because today we're going to do a crossword puzzle. Now, not really, because we're not going to fill in a cross and, up and down or across. What we're going to do here is we're just going to look for these 6 words, but you guys are going to have to fill in the blanks. And this is another really good way to learn English. Games, crossword puzzles. You say crucigramas, I believe. So crossword puzzles. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys the expression. The first time I'm going to fly through as always. I'm going to leave out, or I'm going to give you an expression or a clue, una pista. What you guys are going to do is tell me all the words. If you can, and it would be easier if you could give me all the words in one communication, right? In one post. So there's 6. You can put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you have to fill in the blanks, okay? Wait till I've given you all 6. The first time I'll fly through. The second time I'll slow down. Okay, the first one across, no, da igual, no lo vamos a rellenar en ningún sitio, solo ponerlo. Fill in the blank in this popular expression. Hook, line, and What goes there? Number 2, here's the clue. A portable house made of canvas, nylon, or back in the day, skin, piel de un animal. And you can sleep outside if you have one of these under the stars. Okay? Easy one. Number 3, a house built by Eskimos, which is made of blocks of ice. Okay? Or Inuit people. Some people oppose the word Eskimo, but that's what I was always taught when I was a child. Okay, number 4, another word for hut. Hut, Pizza Hut, right? Another word for hut. The 5th one, Japanese theater is called. So traditional Japanese theater is called. And the last one, father, son, and fill in the blank. When you do the sign of the cross, right? It's father, son, and So there you go. It's not your typical spelling bee because I'm not spelling the words today. I'm leaving out the words I want. And that's why we're looking at crossword puzzles, that kind of format, because today in 1913, a guy named Arthur Wynne had something called the word cross, which became the first crossword puzzle, and it was published in the New York World, which is no longer in existence. But crossword puzzles, you can find them everywhere. You can find free ones on the internet. What I would do, though, is make sure that it's not too high level, because some of the I've seen some of the ones at the New York Times or the Guardian where it's like, excuse me, I have no idea. So be the same way when you watch a movie. Don't try and watch something that's going to be really hard to catch. Stay within your level. You can always go up, right? You can always say, okay, that was easy, that crossword puzzle. Okay, what are the things that fall down when the precipitation, snow? So sometimes it's really easy. You can search, go to Google right now and search for easy crossword puzzles. English, obviously. Okay, did anybody get these on the first go? I gave you some of them were fill in the blank, some of them were a synonym for something, and some of them were just, you have to know what it's called. I remember a lot of those. Those were the ones I would ask my mom, right? Let's see. All right. Chris Valrol. Let's see. The first one is correct, Chris. Excellent job. The second one is correct. The third one is correct. The fourth one, you gave me the same word. So no, that one's definitely not right. And the fifth one, you're missing one of the letters is wrong. And the sixth one, it's not nieto. You put the word nieto, grandson. All right, not bad, Chris, not bad. All right, let's see if anybody got all of it over here. And careful, Chris, the word synonym tiene dos Y, no tiene una Y latina, okay? So, Chris, excellent effort. Let's give her a nice round of applause for the effort. 3 of them were right. That's 50%. But I want all of them. I want Freddie Mercury here. I want it all. I want it all. Number 1, an expression in English, fill in the blank. Hook, line, and, okay? And I can tell you what it means as well, if you'd like. It means de cabo a rabo, no? Completamente, okay? So, okay, todo. De cabo a rabo, it says here. En Puerto Rico, como pescadito. Argentina, con moño y todo. De pe a pa, de principio a fin, de cabo a rabo, completamente. Okay, is the first one. Hook, line, and The second one is a portable house, usually made of canvas. Usually you want it to be waterproof, right? Quieres que aguante el agua. Nylon. Back in the day, the teepees were made from skin, right? Animal skin. But now we don't call them teepees unless it's a teepee. But normally the ones you buy at Decathlon, okay? The next one. This is a house built by Eskimos made of blocks of ice, okay? The fourth one is another word for hut, okay? The fifth one is Japanese theater, traditional Japanese theater, okay? And the last one is father, son, and that one, okay? So there's your spelling bee. This is, as I said, we're doing it like a crossword puzzle. The only thing is you're missing the amount of letters. Eso te ayuda. Porque si tengo 3 letras, tiene que ser una palabra que es sinónimo para tal que es 3 letras. So that helps you too. You didn't have that here. All right, let's see. Born to Iron Man, taking a stab at it. And Born to Iron Man, the fourth one was not the one I had in mind. But since I didn't tell you how many letters it is, I'll accept it because it's correct. Give it up for Born to Iron Man. Great job. Great job. Also, we got Vero as well, who got it. Let's see. Vero, Germain. Okay, who else? Lupe, you got it. Wow, a lot of people figuring it out. This was a tough one, too. Very impressive. All right, the first one is hook, line, and sinker. Now, hook, piénsalo, viene de pesca. Hook, lo que engancha al pez. The line, el sedal, you say, and the sinker. O sea, se lo ha tragado todo. And usually we use it with the expression to fall for something, hook, line, and sinker. So you can say, for example, hey, I told my daughter that Santa Claus was coming on the 24th at night. She fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. Se lo trago, se lo creyó todo, todito. Okay, hook, line, and sinker. Great expression in English. Comes from fishing. The next one, a tent. That's right. I love that you call it a tienda de campaña, a store. We call it a tent. Obviously, the older school ones are the teepees, the ones that are more cone-shaped, cylindrical. I've stayed in a teepee, in a real teepee made of canvas and all kinds of. It was pretty scary, to be honest, because I grew up in an area where there are bears and wild animals. So, camping is cool until you hear a noise and then you're like, oh shit, I got to pee now. I remember one time that same night we were staying with my church group in a teepee and there was a fire lit. And in the middle of the night, I had to piss, of course. I know myself. I probably drank way too much soda. Bebí demasiado refresco. And I remember hearing noises outside. And I was like, I held it in all night. I think I destroyed my bladder that night. My bladder, mi vejiga. All right, the next one is igloo. Remember, we pronounce it a little bit differently. Y no tiene una U, sino dos O's. So they built igloos. No, igloo. The next word, some of you put the word shelter. I put the word shack. Another way to say a hut is a shack, a beach hut or a beach shack. A shack can also be una chabola. So think about it like that. It's like a small, primitive, not, it's four walls. A lot of times we see them on the beach, but we can also see them in tribes and villages. I know in Brazil, there are a lot of shacks, these areas where there are tons of shacks. And there's a song by the B-52, Love Shack. Baby, love shack, baby, love shack. El chiringuito del amor. And the fifth one, kabuki. That's one either you knew or you didn't know. Kabuki. All right. And the sixth one, and this one, there were two options. Como no teníamos los espacios. Now, if you were doing a real crossword puzzle, you would say, okay, pues tiene que ser esta porque no cabe el otro. So it is Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. You can also say Holy Spirit. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. I hope you guys enjoyed our little crossword puzzle today. And I hope you'll join us in the third. Oh my God. Wow. That's how you know it's flying by. Well, I hope you'll join us in the third part of today's Show with No Name. If I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Hey, amigos. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Show with No Name, exclusively on Vaughn Radio, where you can join us every day for tons of fun English. Remember to download our free app. That's right, we've got a free app. Just search for Vaughn Radio, and you'll be able to find us everywhere. Whether you are on Apple, iOS, or you're an Android user, you can find Vaughn Radio. And don't forget, you can also join our online community. We've got a new community we've started, the Vaughn World. It's a portal for Vaughn students where you can share ideas and all kinds of different things. Make sure you go on over. I think the best way is following us on social media, and this way you can keep up to date with all the latest things happening in the Vaughn world. And my amigos, I know if you follow me, you're going to get at least one video a day, as well as a 2-hour class, a half-hour podcast once a week, and tons of other videos and content that I'm constantly posting. And I know it's worth it, because if you guys are making the most of it and you keep commenting, because that keeps me going too. When I read your comments, it really makes me smile. All right, well, we've got to kick off with today's homophones.
Homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, it's homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name. The show with no name.
That's right, amigos. It's homophones only on the show with no name. And as always, we're going to look at two words here that may or may not sound the same. What I want you to do is to tell me if they sound the same or not. Well, A, what the words are, and B, if they sound identical, exactly the same. Like you wouldn't recognize it if I said one or the other. All right. Well, the first word is something that has very little fat. Tiene poca grasa. In Spanish, you would say magro, desgrasado. Okay, magro o desgrasado. What else? If we're talking about a body, somebody that doesn't have a lot of body fat, then we're talking about esbelto, right? Thin but strong, right? Their BMI, their body mass index, they've got a lot of muscle and not too much fat. What else? Delgado, esbelto. What else? Yes, también es contar con o apoyarse en alguien. Okay? So that is the first word. También es inclinarse hacia. Estoy inclinándome hacia esto en cuanto a tomar una decisión. Ahora lo vemos más en detalle, como siempre. All right, so that's the first word. The second word is a security interest. So this is like if you don't pay your mortgage, tu hipoteca, then they can put un gravamen. Gravamen? Is that how you say it? Derecho de retención. So you can have one of these put on your home. You can have one of these put on, on your accounts, and that's not good. Let's see, an English synonym. The right to take your property or hold on to your property because you haven't made the payments. Okay? So that is your homophone section. Those are the two words. Maybe you're familiar with them. Maybe you're not. Either way, what I want you guys to do is participate in that section, as well as the Say What soundbite. And this is the third listen of today's Say What soundbite. Hopefully you guys will be able to figure it out sooner than later. Here we go.
I'm so proud and grateful. It's been almost 8 years. This film, Coming Home, was born in Santa Monica, where we live, in the cramped offices of the Indochina Peace Campaign.
All right, there you go, folks. There you go. That's your Say What soundbite for the third time. You're going to hear that one more time on today's show. All right, let's see. Born to Iron Man says, thanks, mates. I wrote down shelter because of the Rolling Stones song, Gimme Shelter. Yeah, a shelter is also, it's a little bit different. A shelter's, you can take shelter in a shack or a hut, right? But good, great word and excellent song, right? German, you asked how to spell TP. Well, just in case I don't see your comment or your fellow students, remember word reference. You should have that saved on your tabs, no? En tus, iba a decir, pestañas. Pestañas, you say? Yeah. Well, you should have word reference, and this way, if you ever have a doubt, you can find it just in case I'm not here or your fellow students aren't here either. All right. So that's our homophone section. Let's go on over and see how you guys did. The first word, as I said, has many, many meanings. And the second word really is more specific. Okay. It doesn't have as many meanings. So, what did you guys come up with? Let's go on over here to our virtual chat room. And wait a second. Nobody's gotten it. Oh, wait a second. I thought you guys would be familiar with this, at least the first word. Maybe it's that second word that's throwing everybody off. If something throws you off, te desconcierta. I don't know. It's the only thing I can think, because I think the first word is a pretty well-known word. I think. I could be wrong. I could be totally wrong here. All right, going once. If not, I'll solve it myself. As you guys know, I always like to ask you first to see if you guys know it. But if not, I can always solve it. Obviously, I'm come prepared to solve every section here. And even if you guys don't get it in the group, I have a duty, un deber, to solve it for the people who aren't listening to it live as well. Because they say, wait, entonces, ¿en qué hemos quedado entonces? Right? So don't worry about that. Whether people participate live or not, we will solve every section and clear up any doubts that you may have. All right, let's see. Salvador, you are the only brave one here. Remember, guys, you don't lose anything when you participate. Maybe your dignity, but you shouldn't lose your dignity for making a mistake in English. I mean, it's English class. If you don't make mistakes in class, what are you waiting for? Let's see. I trust Salvador, and he says the words are and they are not homophones. All right, interesting there. Anybody else want to take a stab at it, or is Salvador the only one who's going to take a stab at it? Well, Salvador, first things first. The words are correct. So let's give you a round of applause just for that. You got the words right. Excellent job. Okay. Oh, but wait a second. We've got a few other people participating. Let's see. Laura, those are the words as well. And she says, I think they are homophones. Oh, wait a second. This is getting interesting. So Salvador says no. Laura says yes. German says they are homophones. Interesting. Let's see. Born to Iron Man. I haven't known the word so far now. Thanks, Salvador. Yeah. All right. Interesting. Okay, folks. Then let's take a look at the words and see who's right. The good thing is everybody got the words right. The question is, do they sound the same or not? Let's look at the first word. This is lean. Let's say chicken is lean meat. Okay, chicken. Gallina, pollo, es carne con poca grasa en general, right? It's magro, desgrasado. It has little fat. It's lean, right? Boxers should be lean, right? They shouldn't have a lot of body fat, right? Lean. A lot of times we say, I'm a lean, mean drinking machine. Lo que sea. Puedes cambiar el drinking por lo que sea. So I'm a lean, mean English machine. I'm a lean, mean, lo que sea. Mean is, okay, no? Lean, well, we like to rhyme. You guys know we love to rhyme. So lean. What else? Let's give you some other ones. To lean. We looked at this when we looked at Italy the other day. The Leaning Tower of Pisa. The Leaning Tower of Pisa. Also, let's see, to lean in, acercarse, ser firme, okay? To lean in, which is a little bit different than to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Oh, lean on me, apóyate en mí, ¿no? Cuenta conmigo. So, and also I'm leaning towards, me estoy decantando. I have a couple options, but I'm leaning towards this microphone. Okay, me estoy inclinando literalmente hacia ese lado. Think about it. It really makes sense if you think about it. Okay, so that first word, lean, again, you'll know it from that song. Lean on me when you're not strong. All right, and the second word, lean. Lean. Okay, well, they put a lien on his house. They put a lien on his house. And now they've been quite lean. Y eso es otro uso de lean, sin dinero, austero, right? They're having lean times right now, this family. They're going through lean times. So unfortunately, they put a lien on their house. Are they homophones? Absolutely. Pero fijaos en la preposición there, right? To put a lien on something. All right, let's see what we've got over here, too. It looks like we've got a winner in today's Say What soundbite. Folks, please give it up for your classmate, Laura. Excellent job, Laura. Wow. Excellent job. Excellent job. And we still have another listen to go. All right. Well, let's see. What have we got next? We already did the Say What soundbite. Let's go through our spelling bee. As I said before. Oh, no, we already did the spelling bee as well. Oh, then that means it's time for today's Name That Movie. Name That Movie. That's right. That's right. It's Name That Movie only on the show with no name. And this is a great one. Esta es genial. I love this one here. This movie, I remember at one point in my life, I knew every word in this movie. Todas las frases. And there's a reason why, too, because it's based on a true story. Basado en hechos reales, based on a true story. And this is a high school that some of my family members attended. So it takes place at a high school. I've just given you guys a huge clue. Okay, here's the trailer of today's movie. The dedicated but tyrannical Joe Clark is appointed the principal of a decaying inner city school. He is determined to improve by any and all means. Okay, so the dedicated está dedicado a su trabajo, yet tyrannical. So tyrannical, like a king or a queen. Tiránico. I didn't know that. Tyrannical in English con A-L. The dedicated but tyrannical Joe Clark is appointed. This is a good word to know. To appoint someone is nombrarles. He is appointed the principal. And here's a homophone for you. Principal is the main. Okay, the principal. He was the principal. Acuérdate de esa frase. So el director de la escuela principal. La diferencia, and this, I remember how we were taught to remember it. Our principal said, I'm your pal. Principal. Soy tu amigo. Right? It's a good way to remember it, but they sound the same. Aunque es principal y principal, sounds exactly the same in English. So the principle of a decaying, and if something is decaying, creo que es decaer, decaída, right? To decay, decomposición, deterioro, declive, decadencia, okay? A decaying inner city school. An inner city This is a word that usually refers to not a good area. Okay, zonas marginales. When somebody says I come from the inner city, that means I come from a rough area, una zona un poco chunga. It says barrios marginados, zonas marginales. Okay, the inner city, and this inner city is Patterson. In fact, where my mother was born. And of a decaying inner city school, he is determined to improve by any and all means, como sea. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got a winner. Please give it up for Chris Valrol. I gave you a clue in today's homophones. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. Lean on Me. It's the song that they use, and it's the title of the movie. The movie stars Morgan Freeman. He's excellent. If you haven't seen this movie, it's based on a true story. Crazy Joe, they called him. You can look up the story, Joe Clark or Crazy Joe Clark. And he used to walk around with a bat. There's one of the lines in the movie was, they used to call me Crazy Joe, but now you can call me Batman. Y lleva un bate en la mano. So he is convinced he's going to turn things around at this school. No, darle la vuelta a la tortilla en este cole. And it takes place at East Side High. And I have family members who attended East Side High, and they're doctors. So it's funny, isn't that? Worst high school ever. I mean, they made a movie about how bad it was. And my mom's cousins who went there seemed to, one is a surgeon, cirujana. So if you want to learn, it doesn't matter where, you're going to learn, right? You don't need to wait to just learn in the classroom. And these kids were taught by my Aunt Kate and by my Uncle Joe, God rest his soul, to be curious. And that's what I'm trying to do with Lara. So it doesn't matter. Okay, you'll study it better. You'll have better teachers and worse teachers, but you'll be your own teacher because you're constantly curious. If you have not seen this movie, it's a beautiful movie, and it's called Lean on Me. And Joe Clark says, you are all expurgated. Now, we don't use that word very often. We would normally say expelled. When you expel somebody from school, it means they're kicked out, right? Or you can be suspended as well. So that's I wouldn't worry about the word expurgated because it's not used very often. It's a very formal word. And he goes, you are dismissed. Es así que se usa. Okay? Ya os podéis ir. You are dismissed. You are out of here forever. Estáis fuera de aquí para siempre. I wish you well. Os deseo lo mejor. I wish you well. And then it says, the stage direction says, after security, Dean William Wright and Eastside's new guards eject all the problem kids from the school. Clark's audience in the decaying auditorium grows silent. So if you haven't seen the movie, in this scene, what he does is he has a list of names that the teachers give him. He brings them all up on stage and he goes, you see these people? They're the problem. They're out of here. We're no longer going to deal with these drug dealers. We're no longer going to deal with these people because the rest of you, according to your teachers, came here to learn. So he wanted to make a statement, right? To make a statement es decir algo. He wanted to make a statement and quick. He had to. It was his first day at the school. So then he says, next time, it may be you. Yo nunca lo voy a poder hacer tan bien como Morgan Freeman, okay? Ojo, por eso él es Morgan Freeman. Next time, it may be you. If you do no better than they did, si tú no haces mejor que de lo que han hecho ellos, if you do no better than they did next time, it will be you. Serás tú. They said this school was dead, like the cemetery it's built on. And if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me here, I think my great-grandfather, bisabuelo, helped build this school. I know he was a bricklayer. Él ponía ladrillos, trabajaba in construction. And he built a lot of the schools. And I'm pretty sure he built this school or helped build this school. So again, I have several family connections to this school, East Side High. If you'd like to take a look, it's East Side High in Patterson, New Jersey. And he goes, they said this school was dead, like the cemetery it's built on. But we call our East Side teams ghosts, don't we? Nos llamamos fantasmas, ¿no? And what are ghosts? ¿Y qué son fantasmas? Ghosts are spirits that rise from the dead, que se levantan de la muerte. I want you to be my ghosts. You are going to lead our resurrection by defying, okay? And to defy is to, ¿cómo se dice defy? Vamos a ver. Defy, desafiar, retar, okay? Resistir. So you are going to lead our resurrection by defying the expectation that all of us are doomed to failure, okay? Condenados a fracasar, to be doomed to failure. He says, my motto is simple. Mi eslogan es muy sencillo. If you do not succeed in life, I don't want you to blame your parents. No quiero que eches la culpa a tus padres. I don't want you to blame the white man, el hombre blanco. I want you to blame yourselves. Quiero que eches la culpa a vosotros mismos. The responsibility is yours. In 2 weeks, we have a practice exam. Okay, en 2 semanas tenemos un examen práctica. And on April 13th, we have the minimum basic skills test itself. Okay, nos van a hacer la prueba de nuevo y tenemos que marcar. We've got to rank somewhere in there because they were one of the lowest in the nation. Okay, with reading, half the students were illiterate. Illiterate means you can't read or write. He goes, that's 110 school days from now. But it's not just about those test scores. Pero no solo va de estos, de cómo haces en los exámenes, tus resultados, your scores. If you do not have these basic skills, si vosotros no tenéis estas habilidades básicas, if you do not have these basic skills, you will find yourselves locked out. Os encontraréis encerrados en la calle, ¿no? Fuera, en la calle, locked out. And he says, locked out of that American dream that you see advertised on TV and that they tell you is so easy to get, que es tan fácil obtenerlo. You are here for one reason only, to learn, para aprender, to work for what you believe in, para trabajar hacia o en lo que tú crees. The alternative is to waste your time. La alternativa es malgastar tu tiempo. To fall into that trap, caer en esa trampa. We say the same thing. To fall into that trap of crime, delito, crimen, and drugs and death. Does everybody understand that? Todo el mundo entiende eso. Do all of you understand me? And nobody, everybody's like, yes, sir, yes, sir. Nobody was going to try and say something different at that point. Or they just saw that he meant business. Acaban de ver que va en serio. To mean business es ir en serio. So they saw with that gesture, con ese gesto de que echar todos los malos, all the bad apples, esto es una buena expresión, a bad apple, un bicho malo, right? And so this was a huge gesture. And I think he definitely, they got his point. Pillaron su idea principal, su grano ahí. And then he says, then welcome to the new East Side High. O sea, this is a turning point. It's a really good movie. If you have not seen it, I mean, let's be honest. Morgan Freeman is just one of the greatest actors alive. And this was a movie that he made based on a true story, as I said, in 1989. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. It also has to do with school vocabulary. And then you can remember, hey, some of Alberto's family members attended there. And I have to confirm it with my mom, but I think even my great-grandfather helped build it. Folks, we have to go to our third commercial break, and we'll be right back with the fourth and final part of today's show. So stick around. amigos. Welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. And it's Christmas week. Hope you guys are enjoying Christmas. I mean, it's here now, like it or not. There's no getting away from it. No way. Come on in, folks. Come on in for the fourth, I can't believe it, fourth and final part of today's show. I hope you guys are having fun, and I hope you'll join my amiga Jules Linares on her program, Let's Get Random, which is followed by Tosh Pasqua and her program. Oh, no, wait, the lunchtime show first. I don't want to skip Rob and Andy. We got the lunchtime show with Rob and Andy, and then back to basics with none other than Tosh Pasqua. Remember, the best way to make sure you never miss a beat, que no te pierdas ni una, is just download the free Vaughn Radio app, and you'll be with us everywhere we go, everywhere we look, everywhere we go. I'll be watching you. Folks, it's time for Double Trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
That's right. That's right. You know it, folks. It's Double Trouble, only on the show with no name. And this is a section of the show where we take a look at a translation, but it's not your typical translation. This one's going to be a little bit tough, but I know you guys will be able to figure it out. A él le flipaba arrasar en el instituto. Okay? That's it. What, do you want more? Ganar, derrotar, arrasar. Okay? I think would be a good translation. So, a él le flipaba arrasar en el instituto. That is today's Double Trouble. You have to use the same word twice, as you know, and hopefully somebody will get it. All right. Also, I've got to give you today's Say What soundbite. This is the fourth and final listen. Laura got it already. Let's see if anybody else can figure it out as well.
I'm so proud and grateful. It's been almost 8 years. This film, Coming Home, was born in Santa Monica, where we live, in the cramped offices of the Indochina Peace Campaign.
All right, there you go. There you go, folks. That was the fourth and final listen of today's Say What soundbite. I'm sure somebody else is going to get it, not just Laura. And speaking of getting it, let's see if anybody figured out today's Double Trouble. It's a él le flipaba, le encantaba. You love to use that word in Spanish, flipar. Le flipaba, le encantaba arrasar. Okay, ganarlo todo, right? Ser el crack en el instituto. That's your Double Trouble. Let's take a look. We've got some comments over here in our chat room. Giggler, what's up, Giggler? She says, hi, Double A and mates. I've got a lot on my plate lately. I wanted to butt in just to wish you all a Merry Christmas. Have fun and cherish the good moments with your beloved ones. Thank you so much, Giggler. Always lovely to read your name, and I wish you the same. Let's see. German says, it's yeah, but this isn't. This is a good Double Trouble, but it's not the one we're looking for. I like it, German. It's a good one. It's a major drag that I've never seen a movie on the main drag of my city. I like it. Not today's Double Trouble, but it's good. I like that you're thinking like that. So the main drag es la franja principal, la carretera principal. And a drag es un aburrimiento. This class is not a drag. It doesn't drag on. Piensa, arrastrar. It moves very slowly. Great one, Germán, but that's not today's double trouble. Today's double trouble. A él le flipaba, le encantaba arrasar. También puede ser dar palizas. Ok, te doy una pista. Dar palizas a la gente en el instituto. Maybe that'll help you. It'll clear things up a little bit for you. All right, going once, going twice. If not, as you know, I will give it to you in just a moment, but I want to give you guys a chance and see if anybody can figure it out. Going once, going twice. All right. So a él le flipaba. Well, you can always say he enjoyed, he liked. That's fine, but we're looking for something a little more native over here, aren't we? So, si te flipa algo, excuse me, you get a kick out of it. Okay? To get a kick. Now, let's just say you come across this, you're reading a book and it says, Mary really got a kick out of the holidays. Okay, great. You're like, I don't know what that means because my English teacher's not here. It's Saturday. Then you go on over to, you can Google it. You don't even have to go to Word Reference. You can just Google to get a kick out of. Y aquí te lo da. In Word Reference, slang for to enjoy, to take pleasure in. Encantar, divertirse, flipar en español. Okay? So to get a kick out of something, I hope you guys get a kick out of your English classes here on Vaughn Radio. Que lo flipáis, lo encantáis, os divertís. ¿Divertáis? Oh, esa es difícil para mí. All right, let's see. Laura taking a stab at it. Before I go on, I'll stop. Laura wants to take a stab at it. Great job, Laura. And Laura says he took a hit out of being a hit in high school. The second part works. He was a hit in high school. Arrasó, lo petaba would be another way to say it, right? Petarlo, arrasar. But the first part, to take a hit out of something, it doesn't sound familiar to me, Laura, but I'll tell you what, you know how I feel about effort, about making an effort. So great job, Laura. Wonderful effort. Okay. Salvador, you're on the right track, but you're missing a lot of prepositions. You're missing a period, a capital letter. So I'm just naturally going to move on to the next one. It just doesn't look good. It looks like you don't care. I know you do, but that comment doesn't make it look like you care too much. All right, let's see. Laura says he took a kick. Oh, Laura's coming back. All right. Well, to get a kick out of. So es muy importante ahí el verbo. Okay, to get a kick out of something. So he got a kick out of kicking butt in high school. You have got it. Awesome job. Excellent. Okay, we had to make a few little adjustments. So instead of to take a kick out of something, we say to get a kick out of something. Okay? So he got a kick out of, porque es en pasado, kicking butt con ing in high school. Let's see if anybody else was close as well. All right. Well, guys, again, a team effort there. Some of you knew the first part. Some of you knew the second part. The one who came the closest was Laura, but he got a kick out of kicking ass in high school. O sea, le flipaba arrasar, petarlo en el instituto. But also to kick ass is, man, I kicked his ass. Le di una paliza. So again, context is everything over there. And remember, if you kick somebody out, le echas. Well, think about Lean on Me, the movie. What does Crazy Joe do? He kicks them out of the school. So that's a good word. I know you know the word kick, dar una patada, but I just wanted to let you know that it's got a lot more meanings. Another one, just for kicks. Por echar unas risas. For kicks, right? para divertirnos. Why do you want to do that? Just for kicks, para unas patadas, para unas risas. So as you're seeing, the word kick has many, many meanings in English. All right, well, I think we can find a joke from the word kick. I'm sure we can. Let's see what we've got in today's You're Joking. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar. You're joking. That's right, folks. That's right. You're joking, only on the show with no name. And this is the part of the show where I tell you a joke and we see if you guys get the joke. And today I've got a few jokes, right? A few jokes lined up for you. Okay, so what's the king of all school supplies? Okay. What's the king of all the school supplies? El rey de todas las cosas para el cole. What are school supplies? A pencil, a pen, an eraser, scissors, a pencil sharpener, for example, right? Staples and a stapler, right? These are all things that you would bring to school. At least when I was a kid. I don't know if that's true now. All right. So what's the king of all school supplies? The ruler. No. What's the king of all school supplies? The ruler. No. Well, a ruler is la regla, right? You use it to measure things or to draw a straight line. But also a ruler is gobernante, dirigente, rey, right? The ruler. They rule over the land. Reinan, right? Mandan, they rule. Also, to rule means to be awesome. The show with no name rules. Es lo mismo que decir it rocks, right? So, do you get it now? What's the king of all school supplies? The ruler. All right, here's another one. The teacher asked me what the chemical formula for water is, right? Yeah, my science teacher, we were in the lab, in el laboratorio, and the teacher asked me, hey, what is the chemical formula for water? And I said, HIJKLMNO. And the teacher looked at me like, what? What are you talking about? And I said, well, the chemical formula for water is HIJKLMNO. And the teacher goes, that's wrong. And I said, well, no, the other day you told me it was H2O. No. The other day you told me it was H2O. No. HH2O, H2O, or la H hasta la O. So what is the chemical formula for water? HIJKLMNO, H2O. Okay. All right. One more for you. The third time's a charm. A la tercera va la vencida. Where does a surfer go to school? Okay. Where does a surfer, vamos a pronunciar eso, no es surf, in inglés it's surf. Where does a surfer go to school? Oh, that's easy. To a boarding school. No. A surfer goes to school at a boarding school, or a skateboarder or a snowboarder. They go to a boarding school. All right. Well, a boarding school is internado, pensionado, but also boarding is skateboarding, snowboarding, right? So a boarding school. I remember my mother used to say, Alberto, if you don't behave yourself, I'm going to send you to a boarding school. It's the classic line that parents say. And now, as a snowboarder, I would say, boarding school? That's awesome. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed your joking. Right now, it's time for famous birthday trivia.
Famous birthdays for you. Famous birthdays for me. Famous birthdays for everyone. On the show with no name. Birthdays for him. Famous birthdays for her. Famous birthdays for everyone. On the show with no name.
That's right. That's right, amigos. It's famous birthdays only on the show with no name. And as always, this is the part of the show where I give you some clues about our birthday boys and girls. And the good news is, if you were paying attention in the show, well, hopefully you guys will have gotten a few clues already. Okay, are you ready for this one? The first birthday boy was born in the year 1940. Okay, 1940. He died in 1993. I was never a big fan, but I guess, yeah, his music was a little bit before my time. Again, he died in 1993. I remember him being very popular, but I remember I never really got into his music. Okay. What could we say about his music? It's characterized by its nonconformity. This guy didn't conform. He was into improvisation, winging it, as we said at the beginning of the show. And he mixed all kinds of things. He was in the business for 30 years making albums, going on tour. And he composed a lot of the music by himself, and he mixed genres. So he mixed rock, pop, jazz fusion, all kinds of things. And the name of his band was The Mothers of Invention. And supposedly this guy was self-taught. Se autoenseñó, se enseñó a sí mismo. He was self-taught. And well, now he's become, one of the greats in the music world, in show business. In 1997, he got the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. And as I said, even though I'm not a fan, if you've been in the business for 30 years, you're doing something right. No, algo estarás haciendo bien. All right. The next one. This person was born in 1935, an American director, producer, and cinematographer. He's perhaps best known for directing Rocky, the first one, the one that came out in 1976, where he earned the Academy Award for Best Director. He also did the first 3 Karate Kid films. He also did Joe. He did Save the Tiger, Lean on Me, which was today's Name That Movie, Rocky 5. So he didn't do Rocky 4, which was one of my favorite ones. But he did Rocky 1, 2, and 3, which were all great, and Rocky 5. Rocky 5, he also did 8 Seconds, and, well, he's done many, many movies throughout his time. The last film he ever did was Inferno with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Okay? The famous Jean-Claude Van Damme. I remember him. He was huge in the 90s. And last but not least, this is a controversial figure in the United States. She was born in 1937. She's an actress and activist. And, well, a lot of the guys in Vietnam and a lot of the troops don't like her. Let's put it that way. But I loved her. I mean, I didn't do exercise, but I loved watching her exercise videos. But she was Barbarella. Once you're Barbarella, you've made it. You made it. And she's been in so many things. She's won awards for her work. I mean, everybody knows her name. And folks, we have got ourselves a winner over here. Please give it up for Chris Valrol. I'm changing your name, Chris. Number 1, we've got Frank Zappa. Do you say in Spanish Zappa? We say zzz. Frank Zappa. Number 2, John Avildsen. Now, I didn't know who he was, but when I looked at the movies that he's directed, I said, oh man, this guy was a part of my childhood. And last but not least, Jane Fonda. Oh man, I'm gaga over her. I know. She was born in 1937 and she's still sexy. Oh my God. I want to know her secret. And this is today's Say What soundbite, which is Jane Fonda, and she is accepting the Academy Award. And right before this, she's using sign language. No, con los dedos está. She's using sign language so that people can follow along. And then she says, I'm so proud, orgullosa. Remember this, proud, orgulloso, pride, el orgullo. Okay, como el libro Pride and Prejudice. I'm so proud and grateful. Grateful is the same as thankful. It's been almost 8 years. Han pasado casi 8 años. This film, Coming Home, la película Coming Home, was born in Santa Monica, where we live. Nació aquí esa película, en donde vivimos. In the cramped offices of the Indochina Peace Campaign. Remember, I said she was an activist. So cramped is, a ver cómo ponen cramped, apretados, I think would be the, apretado, estrecho, cramped, C-A-R-A-M-P-E-D, cramped. Also, a cramp es un calambre. I just got a cramp in my leg. I think you say calambre, tirón. So good word to know if you didn't know it. De hecho, hay un grupo de música que se llama The Cramps. But we're not going to look at them today. We're going to look at Jane Fonda, or I should say, listen to Jane Fonda. Today's Say What soundbite.
I'm so proud and grateful. It's been almost 8 years. This film, Coming Home, was born in Santa Monica, where we live, in the cramped offices of the Indochina Peace Campaign.
All right, there you go, folks. Jane Fonda, the one and only. And now it's time for Name That Lyric.
Hi, hello, Alberto. I sing the song is. No? Sorry, bye.
Name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. Name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. It's name that lyric only on the show with no name.
That's right, amigos. That's right. It's Name That Lyric only on the show with no name. And I can't freaking believe it. We have reached the end of the show. I really seriously don't know how this show flies by so fast. I imagine it's because I'm having a good time just like you guys are. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Every day, you guys are bringing the magic, and I thank you for that. Keep up the great work, and don't worry, even though we're celebrating Christmas, we're not ready yet. We have a couple more live shows to wrap up the year. That's a good word, too, to wrap up, envolver, pero también es acabar. So to wrap up the year, we've got a few more shows, unos cuantos más, and I sure hope you'll join us. And remember, we've got shows all afternoon here. If you have the Vaughn Radio app, or if you want to listen wherever you listen to podcasts. Thank you, thank you, thank you again. And keep up the great work. All right, well, here we go, folks. Here's today's Name That Lyric. In fact, I'll give it to you just because we don't have too much time left. No sé mucho. Bueno, it's Frank Zappa, and the song is called Dancin' Fool. Frank Zappa, Dancin' Fool, if you'd like to look it up and if you'd like to sing it with us. All right, so I don't know much about dancing. No sé mucho sobre bailar. ¿Cuántas veces vemos la omisión de la G en inglés? Pone dancing. I don't know much about dancing. That's why I got this song. Esto es lo que dice Frank Zappa. Por eso tengo esta canción. One of my legs is shorter than the other. Tengo una pata más corta que la otra. And both my feet's too long. So yeah, both my feet are too long. But see, again, remember, artists don't care about grammar. They're not interested. He goes, course, now right along with them. Okay? junto con ellos, right along with them. I got no natural rhythm. He's admitting it. No tengo ritmo natural. No sé bailar, he's saying. I got no natural rhythm, but I go dancing every night. Pero voy a bailar todas las noches. Hoping one day, esperando que un día I might get it right. I'm a dancing fool, and I hope you guys are dancing tontos. Este no es tan tonto. A dancing fool es alguien que le encanta bailar, and I'm a dancing fool, even though I make a fool of myself. And we're going to end with that double trouble. Thank you so much, my amigos. Always a pleasure to have you here with us. I hope you'll join us tomorrow for another exciting edition of The Show with No Name. Thank you so much.
I don't know much about dancing. That's why I got this.